Guys, are you tired of watching video after video after video about the best strategy to exist? This strategy is the best, da 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 da. Well, I hope that this will be the last video you'll have to watch. In this video, I'm gonna explain the strategy that I use. This is the only strategy that I use. I don't use 15 different strategies and all this other crap. I use just one strategy every single day. And some days I make money like this. Obviously, not every single day, but you get the point. I'm gonna explain the strategy. I'll explain it from A to Z so you can copy it and do it yourself because it's so simple. It makes sense. And in this video, I'm gonna be dissecting this trade I took over here to over here. We're gonna explain how I did it, everything about it. So let's get into it. So first, obviously some proof, some broker statements. This one on the top is from 2023. You can see I turned my account from $13,000 all the way to $480,000 by the end of the year. Then the next year we have $480,000 that turned into $1.2 million. This is from 2024, now it's 2025, obviously it's gone up a bit. So the first thing I really want to talk about is the big change that I made because I was also very unprofitable. I was in a similar position to you. I didn't know what strategy to use, or maybe I had a strategy that kind of worked, kind of didn't work, and it was just up and down, didn't make much sense. So I was in a very similar position, and there were three things that I changed which caused me to become profitable. So we're going to go through all of them now. The first thing that I changed was leverage. I think if you're a beginner, you shouldn't even touch leverage because you have no idea what you're doing. If you can't turn a $1,000 account into a $10,000 account, then why do you think you can turn a $10,000 account into a $100,000 account? You can't. You can't. Just because you have more money doesn't mean you're magically good at trading. This is why, in my opinion, these, what are they called? Like the funded accounts or whatever it is. I think it's the biggest scam on earth. Because if you can't turn your $1,000 account into 10,000, then what makes you think you can turn 100,000 into a million? You can't. Just because you have more money doesn't mean automatically you just become a better trader. That's not how it works. So we have to take leverage. We have to take leverage away from the equation. Just forget leverage even exists. And this is the main reason that I don't recommend people to start doing forex trading or what's called options or any of this stuff. I never do this type of stuff because there's just so much risk involved. It's so much risk, and for me, there's so much risk for like barely any reward. So if a beginner starts forex trading, he's gonna have like $1,000 account. He's gonna use like 250x leverage. So his $1,000, he's now in a position worth $250,000. It's gonna take a tiny price movement, literally just this tiny blip, and he's liquidated. And now he's like, "Oh, trading's a scam." Blah blah blah. So you have to take leverage completely out of the equation. If you're a beginner, if you're still figuring the ropes out, forget about leverage. You don't need leverage, right? You need to prove that something works, right? And then use leverage. If you can prove to yourself, not to me, not to anybody else, to yourself, that you can turn a $1,000 account into 10,000, then by all means you can use leverage. You can do whatever you want because you've proven that you have a system that works. But if you have no idea what you're doing, you're still clueless, you're still testing things around, then forget about leverage. It's not going to make a difference. So that's the first thing. Get the leverage thing out of the way. You need to find a system instead. Your problem isn't money, most likely. Your problem is your system. Your system is messed up, not your money. Obviously, if you have $3 to your name, obviously your money is messed up. But you get the point. The next thing I want to talk about is complexity. Bruv, like, it's like this new trend. Everybody just wants to use complex words all the time. I don't get it. I'm seeing it more and more on YouTube. Everybody, because they think like, okay, if I use these big words, people will be like, oh, I'm smart, and then they'll listen to me. What? That doesn't make any sense. If someone uses smart words to me, I don't think they're smart. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So let me just go watch another video. Or let me just completely ignore what they're saying because I don't understand it. Let me just watch something else. That's what I think. I don't sit there and think, they were using big complex words. I better listen to them. Do I have any idea what they're talking about? No, but I'll still do it. It doesn't make any sense. So forget the complexity. Forget all these words. Forget all these textbooks and these theories and these like Fibonacci. Like, what are we doing, guys? What the fuck are we doing? We're looking at candlestick charts, two different colors, red and green, and we're praying that it becomes green. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. We don't need a fucking mathematical formula, guys. Like, Jesus. So that's the second thing that I really want to talk about is that the more complexity you have, the worse you're going to perform. Imagine a math test, right? If you cannot understand anything on the math exam because everything is super complex, what makes you think you're going to get full marks? Like, what makes you think that? You're only going to get full marks on the math exam if you understand everything on the thing. You get what I mean? So why are we not applying this to trading? Everybody likes to throw these big words around even though they have no idea what it means. I fully admit I fully admit right now, I have no idea what a fair value gap is or what any of these inverse splits are. I don't know what any of this means, but it doesn't matter because I found a system that works, that makes sense to me, that's simple, and that's all that matters. You don't need to use all these big complex jargon and terms. Just remember that math test example. You need to understand everything on that piece of paper for you to even have a chance of passing the exam. So use the same logic with trading. That's how simple it is. And the next thing I want to talk about is risk, right? You have all these strategies out here which are kind of like, well, yeah, 90% of the time you'll lose money, but the 10% of the time when you make money, it will be a lot. It's like, well, what does that even mean? So your account's gonna look like this. So first you're gonna have this much money. Then 9 times out of 10, you're gonna lose all this money. You're gonna be mentally deprived. You're gonna be like, this doesn't work. You're stressed out. You're confused. You're gonna make impulse decisions. But yeah, the one time when I make money, I'll make a lot of money. Well, what? That's it? That's all the money I'm gonna make? Back to losing 9 times again. Now you're down here. Oops, we made 1 win. Back to losing 9 times again. What are we doing? Guys, we need to use risk tolerance, right? Have decent risk tolerance. Be like, okay, I wanna lose half of my usual gain. So if I make, let's say, $100 as my average win, I wanna lose $50 as my average loss. And what will this do? Well, now your account, instead of looking like this mess, it starts looking like this. So you make money, let's say you lose half of it, but then you make it again, you lose half of it. You make it again, you lose half of it. This, your account will have an upward trajectory, guys. This is what we want. So those are the 3 things that I changed, and these were the biggest changes I made. And this is how I became profitable. So if you can apply, you don't even apply 3 of these, just apply 1 of these. I guarantee you become more profitable. So now let's go more in depth about the actual strategy, the strategy I use, the gap and go, everything. Let's get into it. Before that, guys, quick heads up. I have a free trading bundle. It's completely free. It includes a free course inside. There's 3 ebooks. There's a trade tracker, Notion template. You can track all your trades. There's also a gift inside, and there's much more inside. Click the first link in the description. Go check it out. It's completely free. A lot of people say it's beneficial, so go check it out, guys. So now let's get into the 4 steps of the strategy. Strategy that I use every single day. Let's talk about the 4 steps that are included. The first step is to find volatile stocks. So as we talked about before, we're not going to be trading options because they're leveraged. We're not going to be trading Forex or crypto or any of this garbage. We're going to be trading stocks, and we're going to be finding volatile stocks. Stocks which can make a 100% move, meaning they can literally double in a day. Because if a stock doubles in a day, it goes from here, goes up, down, whatever, boom, it just doubles in a day. All I need to do is just make this much, and that's it. I'm done for the day. That's my trade, and I just repeat this every single day. I don't need to use 500 times leverage or 9-to-1 like weird risk leverage things. I don't need any of that stuff. I just need basic risk management on a good volatile stock, and that's it. The next thing we do is, once we find the list of, let's say, 10 volatile stocks, 15 volatile stocks, whatever, we want to look through each one of them volatile stocks. We want to look through the stock chart, and we want to analyze them. Okay, this one sucks, that one sucks, but I like this one. We need to choose just one from the 15, from the 10, whatever. We want to wait for that stock to give us a buy signal. We want to buy it, and then we want to sell it for a profit, hopefully. That's the idea. This is the thing that I do every single day. When I sit down in the morning to trade, this is what I do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That's it. That's simple as. So now let's go through all the steps in detail. So step 1, like I mentioned, was to find the volatile stocks. So you can see over here, we have a gap scanner. You can see we have a basic screener. We have all the symbols down to the left, and we have the gap percentage. This is what we need. We need the gap percentage, right? And you can see the minimum gap I would like to see is a 20% gap. If a stock's gapping up like 6% or 7%, it's not enough for it to make a decent move, meaning it will probably not make us money. So we want to completely avoid those. We want to only look at the stocks that are gapping up more than 20%. So we have them. As long as you can have a screen like this where you have the ticker and you have the gap percentage, you're good to go. You move on to step 2. Step 2 is the watch list. So you want to go through each and every single one of these gappers, and you want to look at the stock chart. What does the stock chart look like? What does it tell you? And in this case, we have this stock. This one, I believe, is APVO right over here, right? So we can see, okay, so at 8 a.m. exactly, breaking news comes out. The stock comes out with breaking news. And the stock goes up instantly, right? Goes up a little bit more, then it kind of goes down over here, right? But what can we notice about this stock that's interesting? The first thing we notice is volume. There's a lot of volume. There's a crap ton of volume. Yes, it died out a little bit, but it's still consistent for the most part. Then we see there's a support level. There's a support level roughly around about this area. We see that when the stock goes down to this level, it gets bought back up. It tries going back down, it gets bought back up. Tries going back down, gets bought back up. So this level is a support area for us. And this is going to help us with step number 3. Step number 3 is to buy. So we want to only buy once the stock touches the support area, it confirms that it's support, and we see a lot of volume coming in. That's when we want to buy. So you can see when the stock opened, because this is the first minute that the stock opened, you can see that it dumped, which is completely fine. It dumped down, and we can see that buyers are starting to buy the stock up. It went down all the way till here, but then you can see slowly it climbed back up with a lot of volume. Look how much volume there is compared to pre-market, right? Then we see this candle opens, and then it slowly started to go back up. It was a green candle. It was a green candle, and it started going back up. As it started going back up, I saw a lot of volume coming in. That's exactly when I bought. That's what I do every single day, right? I had another entry over here. This one's a bit different. This one's on a bull flag. I made a video on this as well. So I entered it roughly around about over here. That's it. Now move on to step number 4, which is to sell. So bought it over here, stock continued going up, and I sold at VWAP. This line over here is an indicator called VWAP. This is the only indicator I use. I don't do any of these weird, MACD inverse, all this crap. I just use the basic VWAP indicator. Most of the time what happens is if a stock continues going up, as soon as it touches VWAP, there's a lot of resistance. And because there's a lot of resistance, it's a good point for me to sell and take some profit. So that's exactly where I sold over here. Same thing over here. Bought down over here on a bull flag, stock rallied upwards, and when I found resistance on VWAP, that's when I sold. Simple as that. Those two trades together, maybe 27K. This is how insanely simple it can be. I hope you guys understood this, because this isn't rocket science. There's no weird theory you need to learn or any of that. This is basic support resistance, basic entries and exits, guys. This is super simple. I literally cannot make this more simple, right? This is a strategy that I use every single day. It works wonders. And again, if I can make 27K in a day, why can't you make like 10 times less? Why can't you make 100 times less? Why can't you only make $278? You can, because it's such a simple strategy. So that's the strategy that I use. So now let's go through a real $27,841 trade example, minute by minute. I'll take you through everything. So here, guys, we have the stock chart, and I'm going to play minute by minute on the replay section of TradingView, right? So market's about to open. I have identified my support level. All I need to do now is wait until the market opens. We confirm support, and once we confirm support, I enter. So let's play. The first minute, we remember it dumps, right? So when it dumps over here, you can see that there's a lot of volume, which is good. And it's finding a bit of support. You can see buyers are stepping in. It went down to a low of 560, and you can see buyers start stepping in. So this is very good news for me. Let's see what happens on the next candle. Next candle opens up green, and it starts moving back up. This is enough for me. I'm like, perfect. The stock found some support. It's going up green. It's good enough for me. I'm going to enter. So I enter right over here. The next few candles, it just starts going up. Super, super simple. And then as it touches VWAP, I'm like, okay, that's enough for me. I've made 22% on this trade. That's enough for me. I'm going to sell. And that's literally how simple it is. I'm going to show you guys a bull flag entry as well. While we're here, why not? Stock goes up, goes down a bit, whatever, It eventually comes back down. Then we see volume is also drying up. As the stock is going down, we see volume is also drying up. This isn't ideal for the people who are shorting, but it's pretty decent for the people who are long. So let's see what happens. Eventually, it continues going down. And then when I see a tiny little bull flag over there, that's exactly when I enter, right? Pretty good price action. We see a lot of volume coming in compared to the previous candles. And that's kind of it. I just wait. Stock goes up again. Another bull flag over there. Beautiful. And as soon as it touches VWAP, that's exactly when I sell for another 11% gain. This is the strategy that I do every single day. It makes me a living. It's super simple. You can do it too. There's no reason you can't do it too. If you guys want to see the entire trade review and also a live review where I show you a screen recording of me entering this trade over here, you can find all that stuff in the Draco room. So let me show you guys what's inside the Draco room. These are just some of the wins from the Draco room. There's so many wins. These are just like the ones that can fit on the screen. We get wins like this all the time because it's such a simple strategy. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to have years of experience. It's super simple and logical. So when you join the Draco room, you get access to a bunch of different things. You get access to my daily watch list, where I literally tell you guys the stock that I'm going to be trading. You get access to all of my previous trade reviews, all the trades I've taken this year and some of last year. It's all up there. You get a full course inside for beginners. You get access to me, and there's so much more in Discord. There's so many channels for you guys to explore. There's so much. So if you guys do want to join the Draco room, email me on screen at this email right over here to join. I'm going to be closing the group pretty soon to just focus on the members inside. So if you do want to join, email me at that email right now, and I'll try to get you a spot inside. If you guys want to watch a video where I explain the one chart pattern that changed my trading, click the video that just popped up. It goes through the bull flag. This is the entry that I took the second trade. So if you want to learn what bull flags are, how you can trade them, definitely check that video out. As always, guys, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, and obviously get the free trading bundle first in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.